everyone and welcome to today's vlog. This is the second instalment in my kind of chatty behind the scenes vlog series, and I thank you so much if you provided me with some feedback on my first one. I was really excited to get into this one because I have some really cool things planned for today. I have just got ready and I'm about to pop out, get on the train and head into Milan to meet my mum, because we spotted on the advertising in like the metro that there is an exhibition at Palazzo Reale by Dolce Gabbana called From the Heart to the Hands. And this exhibition is kind of all about the really ornate embroidery and kind of handcraft process behind some of their couture gowns. So as of course I make my own clothes, and I recently got my mum into it too. I mean, she's a prolific crocheter, but I got her into knitting a few years ago, and now most recently I'm getting her into sewing and she's borrowing my sewing machine. I thought that we would really love this show and find it really interesting to see kind of the history behind their creative process and the fashion house, and also how it ties into Italian culture, because that's what the show is all about as well. So really looking forward to that one. Now, I don't have a lot of space in this flat to kind of show off my outfits full length, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to give you a good idea. So on the top we have a new t-shirt which is from COS. I really love this colour. I saw it kind of in the window and it caught me immediately. If you're a regular viewer, you'll know I kind of am developing an obsession with the colour blue, and this sort of cobalt blue is a colour I really liked when I was younger, but I realised now I don't actually have much or really any of it in my wardrobe, so I just had to get this new t-shirt from COS. And with that, I'll just put you back a bit further. I am wearing, again, my old Bermudas from Zara, which I'm still hunting for a replacement of, and if you can see, my cute little Birkenstocks, which are just the black big buckle Birkenstocks, comfy and yeah, a bit more practical. I was kind of thinking about wearing like strappy sandals, but then the thought of being in strappy sandals on the metro frightened me a little bit too much, so I changed my mind. And I almost forgot to show you another very important aspect of the outfit, which are these lovely golden kind of earrings that I got. They're clip-ons, so I'll take one out for you. These are vintage. My mum and I found them at this kind of vintage flea market by the lakes. And yeah, I really like them. I feel like they're a little bit more unusual, maybe, than some of the other ones, but they're big enough that they do give you like a lot of impact when you wear them. So yeah, with such a simple outfit, I do like a nice bit of bling, and these are definitely giving me that. Now, to top it off, I am not wearing knits today because, as I mentioned, I'm in summer like survival, genuinely. I am really trying not to just melt as soon as I step out of this air-conditioned bubble that I'm living in, because I think it's around 32, 33 degrees today, and I will fully admit I just don't do very well as soon as the temperature goes above about 28. So yeah, shorts, t-shirt, cool, cotton, as breezy as it can be. But I am going to be taking in my bag some yarn and a set of needles so I can swatch up this lovely dark cognac mohair from Knitting for Olive. I love Knitting for Olive mohair just because of how soft and kind of itch-free it is, and I'm really hoping that this is going to be transformed into a lovely, very breezy, like quite loose gauge blouse. I have a few patterns in mind that I'm going to talk you through later and kind of show you what my inspiration, my idea is for this. But yeah, we're going to be swatching it up on the train on the way there. And this is going to live in something very exciting. I have a new bag that I want to show you to finish off this whole entire look. So I will just move the camera over and do that now. I've just brought you down here so I can show you my new bag from the lovely folks over at Jacquemus. They are a Parisian-based accessories brand who reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to try one of their new bags. As soon as I saw their gorgeous website, I was like, oh yes, absolutely. And now the bag is finally here and I'm super excited to open it and style it with my new outfit. I went for the Lyris bag, which is a vegan bag that comes in this very kind of interesting material. Now I've just popped it in here so I can get myself ready for the day, and I'm admiring some of the cute details actually. I really like the finishing on the side here, and it has cute little pockets. On this one it actually has the brand's name kind of like stamped into it here, which I think is a really nice touch. Of course, the strap feels super sturdy and it can be lengthened to do kind of a crossbody moment, which if you live in a big city, it is great to have that option for when you're riding the metro. Anyway, I'm just gonna pop in a couple of bits. I've got my sunglasses and a few things to take with me, and of course my knitting needles. I have already popped my mohair in here. I'm gonna swatch this up as soon as I get on the train. And it also actually has a little extra kind of compartment like bag that is attached to the inside. This will be really handy, and I think I may use it to keep all of my little makeup bits in. Quickly popping in my phone and I will zip it up. I'm just popping the camera down so I can show you the finished outfit. I have my cobalt t-shirt, comfy Bermuda shorts, and of course my gorgeous little Lyris bag. Now that it's full of stuff, it's taking on a really great kind of slouchy shape that I really love. I really like the shiny coated material with this bright pop of colour, and I also love the fact that even though I'm wearing it with black, it still stands out because of its shine and texture. It feels really secure but also lightweight. And when I get on the metro, because you can never be too careful, I may extend the strap and wear it cross-body. But for now, I'm enjoying it as a kind of casual, over-the-shoulder moment. Thank you so much to all the folks at Jacquemus for sending me this gorgeous little Lyris bag. If you are interested in checking out any of their beautiful offerings, do head to their website that I have linked down below. They have also provided us with a code for 10% off, which is AUSA10. Everything is down in the description box, but I need to stop chatting with you and I need to run to make sure I catch my train. I will be back with you momentarily. Hello, I'm back. It's the day after the exhibition and I've just finished work. The weekend is about to start and I am so looking forward to getting into some of my projects, finishing up a few things, and yeah, just really chilling, like relaxing this weekend because it's so hot. As you can see by what I'm wearing, this was my work from home kind of vibe today. Very slobby black vest, so I felt like I'll put on some nice jewellery and that will kind of bling it up a bit. And alongside my work, I have been working on my Winnie sweater, which you will have probably already seen because I'm making a what I made video that this is going to be done for, that will be coming out before this vlog does. But yeah, this is a gorgeous project. Designed by a very talented young designer who has a knitting podcast here, so it's Celine. I will link her down below. Beautiful sweater that she asked me to test and that I really love. yeah, now I'm finishing this up and I have had quite a busy day, but I really wanted to sort of sit down and talk you through the exhibition and tell you what my mum and I thought about it. Yeah, we had a truly wonderful afternoon actually at Palazzo Reale. I will say I didn't completely know what to expect. I knew that the exhibition was mainly going to be about crafts and kind of couture and the handmade details of the Dolce Gabbana dresses, but I didn't expect to see so many gowns and for there to be such a diversity of technique and just expertise on display. You will have seen in some of the clips that I included, there was really everything in these gowns, and it kind of followed their inspiration, which draws really heavily on kind of quintessentially Italian things. I was particularly captured by a lot of the Catholic iconography and the references to kind of the church architecture, which I just found really cleverly kind of portrayed in all of the interesting shapes and proportions of some of the dresses. I know my mum personally adored one particular room that was all dedicated to glass. So it was a really interesting, immersive experience because you walk in and all of the gowns are on display, but there are also mirrors all around you. And I took a few clips in there of my mum, who was all sparkly and she looked so pretty with all the glass. And you hear the sound of shattering glass. And some of the gowns themselves are actually adorned with Murano glass. So just a really fascinating sort of exhibition that I would highly recommend to anyone who's kind of in the area over the next month. Don't miss it, it's really worth it. So after we finished up at the museum, we went and had a really nice dinner, just a couple of drinks and some pizza, and then we got quickly onto the last train home that we almost missed. And it was just overall a wonderful way to spend an evening and so much fun to look at other people's work, their kind of talent, and really take that all in, but also have a commentary in each room that tied in all of the work to Italy, especially to Sicily. And we just came back from Sicily, of course, on our holiday, so there are a lot of things that I could identify, like the colourful pottery and the influence of that just made me really happy, and yeah, a lot of fun. And as it's Friday, as I said, I'm working on my knitting, but I've also brought out a load of my summer knits because, as you will have noticed, I haven't really been wearing knitted tops as such. I've been using my knitted bag all the time, but I don't actually have that many finished kind of summer knits. I do want to change that, but I also noticed that in past years, I feel I made some summer knits that are now just maybe not completely in line with my personal style anymore, because it's definitely something that for me has evolved over the last couple of years. So when I look back at the beginning of my knitting journey and I think about what I made, there are a few things now that just don't gel in quite the same way, and that I maybe got caught up in the kind of hype of specific patterns rather than really falling in love with the designs themselves. And one of those, I mean, this is still really beautiful, so I don't want to kind of throw shade at this pattern, but this is my camisole. You'll probably recognise it. It was one of the really popular ones by My Favourite Things a few years ago, and I created it in this, I think it's this dusty artichoke shade of KFO Pure Silk. So it's a really beautiful yarn, and it was a lot of hard work, and I felt very proud when I finished it. However, I have noticed that I just haven't really worn this. The texture itself, it looks really neat, and I'm quite happy with the finish, I don't really have any complaints about the way that this looks. I just feel when I put it on as a summer top, there's something not quite right about it. So I think I'm going to reserve this one as more of like a little camisole to wear underneath things. I do also think that this shade of green was something I was drawn to when I first saw that the designer had kind of used this colour in her sample. But when I received it, it seemed just more washed out than I thought. And I love kind of neutral colours, but this, I just think it doesn't do me much justice, you know? It just doesn't really work. Like, look at the difference. Doing a quick kind of colour analysis for you. This just isn't my colour. So yeah, one I'm going to keep in my kind of underwear drawer, maybe as something to wear underneath things rather than a top by itself, because it would be a shame if it doesn't get anywhere at all. Now the other thing, ironically, is in the same yarn, and this is in a much better colour, in my opinion, anyway. It's very crinkled, so you'll have to bear with me. And this is the George's top by Colibri by Joanna. And this was a test knit, again also in KFO Pure Silk, so a really beautiful, beautiful yarn that I just absolutely adore. And it's held double, so it's quite thick, and there is quite a lot of this yarn. But I think the problem is it's just really very low. So I took some beautiful pictures in this that I will insert for you here, and I was really happy with the top when I made it. But now I'm starting to reflect and I'm starting to think about what I like to wear in the summer, and I just feel it might be a bit too skimpy. Yeah, and there is a slight difference. You'll see this section that is stockinette, that was knit flat. It looks very different from the section that was knit in the round. So there are some technical issues with this that have meant I have had to make the difficult decision to frog it. But, you know, I don't feel too bad about that. I feel like if I frog this weekend and I select a new pattern for it, I'll give the yarn kind of a new life, because it is such a beautiful, beautiful yarn, this Pure Silk, and then I'll feel less terrible about it kind of languishing at the back of my wardrobe. But yeah, this is a good colour, I reckon. And I would really love to kind of do colour analysis one day, because I do feel like there are certain colours that are better on some people. As you can probably notice, I am quite drawn to my classic sort of neutral colours. So I like black, I do like this sort of shade of cream and navy, but I would be really curious to see what a colour kind of an analyst would say about my kind of colouring and what colours look best on me, because I feel like there might be something in it about the clarity of the colours, because I do enjoy beige sometimes, but I do think that the colours that I wear have to be clearer, because when a colour is clearer and less kind of muddy, I just feel like it makes my features pop. Although there are some other people who look really, really good in these more muted and toned down shades. So yeah, I don't know, has anyone else had that sort of experience with colour? It would be really interesting to go and see a professional, maybe for one of my vlogs one day, and see what they actually say is like my perfect colour palette. Restful morning working on my Tonight top by Lily Kate France. In a minute I'm going to show you some of the progress that I've made on this. I'm really happy with the way that it's looking and this kind of deep charcoal colour that I'm getting from it, and it just feels so incredibly soft. I mean, definitely one of the softest things I've made in years, really, actually. Just absolutely gorgeous. And the other bits that I want to show you are two little swatches that I made, because as per usual, I have been very indecisive. I know I have this vision in my head of this kind of mohair like top that is semi-transparent, so I can wear maybe matching kind of like, is it called a bandeau? You know, like the little strappy tops underneath. That's the sort of vision with this, but I'll get into these in 1 second. First of all, let me just show you where I'm at. Get these off these kind of 3mm needles and onto a longer cable so I can actually show you where I'm at with this project. Now, with some wrangling to get it onto the longer cable of the small needles, I have my Tonight top on and it is feeling super, super soft and lovely. And here it is. Really, really pleased so far with how this is looking, especially the sort of overall fit of it. I didn't want it to be really, really tight, and I do think that I have kind of achieved that so far. But I reckon with the right bra and a little bit more ribbing, that will probably go up there and it won't be quite as noticeable. I'll just have to be careful when I wear it and make sure I wear the kind of right thing underneath. However, the best thing about trying this on is the fact that the fit looks exactly right. I mean, you can see it looks like it's kind of flaring out a little bit at the bottom, but that's just because the cable is on it. And actually, when I've done the rib, it should sit sort of nice and snug, kind of like that. So yeah, pretty perfect fit. Thank goodness, as I did kind of customise this quite a bit because I was between sizes, so yeah, it's looking good. Hello and welcome to the swatch extravaganza section. That is probably not going to be a regular thing on these vlogs, but you never know. I have two swatches here, which are both mohair, one of which, in the brown, is the Knitting for Olive mohair in dark cognac. So this is the soft silk mohair. Now one strand of that has created this very open, just feather light fabric. This is looking really, really beautiful, and I am thinking about maybe doing a blouse #1 by My Favourite Things in this, but just in one strand so I get that really open look. And then if I wear something under it, like if I put it over that black one, you can see right through it. And that's kind of what I want. I want a very interesting kind of translucent look to this mohair top that I'm imagining. However, I was a little bit concerned that maybe this brown was a little bit too close to the colour of my hair, or maybe would just look, yeah, not quite right, and that the actual knitting experience would be stressful because it is only one strand of mohair on my needles. Now I went for a 5.5mm wooden needle when I knit this up. Her pattern actually uses a 6mm needle, but I decided to go for the 5.5 because I felt like my knitting was looking sloppy and just a bit chaotic. And I will say, having used the 5.5, that I'm actually exactly spot on gauge for her top. So definitely 5.5 seems to work. It doesn't seem to make any difference. So that could become a blouse #1 by My Favourite Things. This, on the other hand, is something that I mentioned to you back in a video quite a while ago. And this is the combination of Norley yarn. Norley is an Italian brand that I stumbled across on Instagram and was very intrigued by because they do the kind of one strand of light sort of lace weight fluffy yarn with a merino, and I though was really fascinated by their fluffy cashmere. So rather than being a mohair, this is actually 50% superfine merino, 30% silk and 20% cashmere. So the feel that you get from a yarn like this is quite different from something like a mohair. If I put 2 strands, oh, if I can actually manage it, one sec, oh no. If I put 2 strands kind of side by side like that, you can sort of see that that fluffy cashmere is kind of like fatter. I don't know, it's like thicker and more fuzzy, I guess. And so my intention with this is to try and make an egg yolk knit. I think it's called Sock Moon sweater, which is a merino sweater that has lines of mohair that kind of create stripes. And if I pull that now, I'll just zoom you in really quickly. And if I pull this swatch flat, I'm hoping that the camera picks that up, because you can kind of start to see the stripes. Now, this is still a little bit bunched up because of the fact that the merino and the mohair, it does have a little bit of a different tension. However, my feeling is with a really good wet block and with a steam, this will probably become quite smooth and look something a little bit like that. I am still feeling super indecisive about which one I should go for. If I hold them up against me here now, you can see this brown is very beautiful, this dark cognac, but I am a bit concerned about it being too close to the colour of my hair. It isn't really that close, because this has quite a bit more reddy brown in it, and my hair does have a kind of golden, like blondie sort of tinge to it. So yeah, not exactly the same, but still definitely a concern. However, I do think that this would make a really lovely blouse number 1. And on the other hand, of course, we have the Sock Moon contender, which if I pull, and just pull my top down here a bit, sorry for the weird hands, but yeah, you can kind of start to see what the stripes will look like. And I think that that could be very chic, especially if I size it up as she recommends in her pattern, and maybe wear it with a matching black top and this kind of sleek black trousers underneath for an all black kind of evening look. I'm very keen on casting one of these on, so I'll show you the 2 patterns here. We have the Sock Moon in black, and we have the blouse number 1 in brown. Let me know which one you think I should do. I think they could both work, but I'm so indecisive, and I will take any advice and help choosing that I can get. And yeah, I want to cast this on really soon, because my holiday to England is in August, so I'm hoping that this will be a quick and easy project that I can get done, and something that I can wear on those really cool English summer evenings. If you've spent a summer in England, you will know that summer is a loose word when we describe that season of the year in England, because it can get super cold. So I want something that looks a little bit elegant and chic, that I made myself, that I can take with me on holiday and put on in the evenings when those temperatures really drop. Yeah, help me choose. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you back again very soon. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye!